Jeez. And I actually never know when this thing starts. But anyway, welcome back to the Y.E.S. Functional Longevity Podcast. We give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. I am Chris Borda, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness, coming to you from our facility on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Burlington, Connecticut. We have had a swing of nice weather here, and it's going to continue throughout the week. I hope you're getting outdoors. I hope you're being active, and I hope you're enjoying it. We don't have any particular housekeeping today, so let's just get right into it. And what I want to talk about is this: the danger. Danger, danger, danger. Very low calorie diets will smash your precious metabolism. That precious metabolism, we always talk about that. Oh, my metabolism is so slow. I'm getting older, my metabolism is slowing down. What can I do about it? Metabolism, metabolism, metabolism. Well, there is something you can do about it. And I'm going to show you something that you should not do to have that happen, okay? So most of the time people come to my facility and want to lose weight. And we all know people that have wanted to lose weight, and people that have been successful with that, and some people who have been successful at it. Or maybe they've been successful and then they regained that weight. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Because typically what I hear is people go on the magic number, the 1,200 calorie diet. We're going to go 1,200 calories, or maybe even less than 1,000 calories. And the body's pretty smart. It figures it out pretty quickly, and it may work in the short term. It does not work in the long term, and that's what we see. And that's one reason why when we talk about nutrition down here, we want to try to find something that's not necessarily a diet. We want to try to find an eating pattern that works for you and works for you successfully. So today, I am going to see if I can't fiddle with technology, and technology usually does not work for me. But let me see if I can find it on here. I'm going to try to share my screen. And maybe I needed to do that before I started this process. And that's what it looks like. Wow. I needed to share the screen before I got on this call. So that's a little disappointing because I had a great visualization for you today. And since it doesn't seem like I can do it from here, I'm just going to have to talk about it. I'm going to put it up on my screen so I can talk about it. So what I want to talk about today is, okay, this one study, okay? And there's more than just this one study, but this study's about this, that. And this study was based on the effects of long-term calorie. So the long-term effects on very low-calorie deficit diets and obesity treatment. Now, obesity, we may say, well, you know what, I'm not obese. And think about obese, are really, really heavy people. But when we take a look at obesity, if we're talking about BMI over 30, from 25 to 30 is about overweight, and over 30 is obese. And we'll be surprised how many people are obese. Okay, they don't think that they're obese. So this is what this study is about. And they took 27 people on a very low-calorie diet. And on average, they lost 19 pounds in just 8 weeks. That's about 2.3 pounds per week. Now, that's fantastic, right? We'd all be celebrating happy. Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo, I lost 19 pounds, and it only took me 8 weeks. But 32% of that weight was lean muscle tissue. So for every 13 pounds, for every 19 pounds they lost 13 pounds of fat and 6 pounds of muscle. So I want you to visualize this, okay? And I wish I was able to share my screen, but I can't share it once I've already started this live presentation. So we're going to have to think about this, okay? So here is an average woman, 180 pounds. She weighs 180 pounds. 48% or 48 pounds of her body is fat, 63 pounds of her body is muscle, and 67 pounds is bone and miscellaneous stuff. So 48 pounds of fat, 63 pounds of muscle, 67 pounds of everything else. After the 8 weeks, right? She was gung-ho. She lost her 19 pounds on that very low calorie diet. So now she's down to 160. She is happy as hell, right? Lost 19 pounds. Of that 19 pounds, though, remember 32% of it was lean muscle tissue. So she went down 13 pounds of fat. So now she has 35 pounds of fat on her body, from 48 pounds down to 35 pounds. But her muscle went from 63 pounds down to 57 pounds. And her bone and miscellaneous tissue is at 67 pounds. So she's at 35, 57, and 67. Over time, research shows that people who typically lose their weight lose about 5 to 10% of their weight in the first year, first 6 months, I should say. However, at least 1/3, it's up to 2/3 of people regain that weight, okay? The weight that they've lost, and then some in 4 to 5 years. And that number might be even more than what this research study showed. So they're going to gain that muscle, that weight back, okay? It's called yo-yoing. It's happened to many people. They were successful on a diet, but they gained that weight back. So now she's a little bummed. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go on that very low calorie diet again because it worked for me before. So a second time she does it, 8 weeks later, remember she had 54 pounds of muscle? 54 pounds of fat. Let me put my glasses on so I can read this on my screen here. So I get this right here, okay. So let me go back to this. So I have my glasses, I can't see the little numbers. So she gained the weight back. She got to 161, lost 19 pounds, 13 pounds of fat, 6 pounds of muscle. She gained all that weight back. She's now back to 180. She didn't gain more, she just went back to 180. She said, you know what, this is crazy. But her composition is different now. She gained all of that weight back in fat, not muscle. So instead of 35 pounds of fat on her body, she now has 54 pounds of fat. When she started this, originally, her original 180 pounds, she had 48 pounds of fat on her body and 63 pounds of muscle. She's now down to she's up to 54 pounds of fat and down to 57 pounds of muscle. So you notice that. She still weighs 180, but now she has more fat on her body and less muscle. She goes on this diet again, second time she goes on a diet, loses 19 pounds. Remember, 32% of that weight was lean muscle. So she went from 54 pounds of fat down to 41 pounds of fat. Awesome, lost 13 pounds of fat. But she also lost 6 pounds of muscle. She went from 57 pounds of muscle down to 51 pounds of muscle. And still has 67 pounds of bone and miscellaneous tissue. She's happy though, because she's at 161 again, lost that 19 pounds. But as we know, in most cases, the majority of people will gain that weight back. And this is what happened to her again. She gained the 19 pounds back. She's back to 180, which she started at 180, right? She's back to 180, but she only gained back muscle. She gained back 19 pounds of muscle. Pardon me. She only gained fat. Whew. It's been a long day. She only gained fat. So she's now up to 60 pounds of fat, 51 pounds of muscle, and 67 pounds of miscellaneous. So I'm going to go back to her first 180 pounds. At 180 pounds, and originally, 2 diets ago, she had 48 pounds of fat, 63 pounds of muscle. 2 diets later, she's still 180 pounds, but now she has 60 pounds of fat. She has 12 more pounds of fat on her body. And she's down to 51 pounds of muscle. She started with 63, now she's down to 51. That's 12 pounds of muscle mass she lost. She needs to gain 12 pounds of muscle mass to restore her metabolism what it was just a little while ago when she was 180 pounds. And if you don't know this, muscle is one of the few factors that helps our metabolism, our resting metabolism. The more muscle we have, the higher our metabolism is. So you can see that it goes up and down, this up and down effect of losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. If you're just dieting, you're going to lose muscle and fat. Your body will catabolize the muscle and you lose that muscle, but slows your metabolism. So if you're sitting here and you're coming through my door and you're 50 or 55 years old, or maybe even 40, 45 years old, and you say, I've lost weight, I've done it 3 or 4 times, yeah, you've destroyed your metabolism. You have affected your metabolism. Can we get that back? Certainly we can get that back. So I got a second study for you here, okay? What this study shows is it's a muscle hypertrophy study with a large weight loss and resistance training. So they're doing resistance training while they were doing this. So they went on an 800 calorie per day liquid diet for 90 days, okay? The average weight loss was 35 pounds. 35 pounds, which is awesome, right? We'd love to lose 35 pounds that quickly, right? What happened was all the subjects increased their cross-sectional area of their muscle fibers significantly. And what they concluded in this study was it appears that weight training can produce hypertrophy in skeletal muscle and therefore increase metabolism even during severe energy restriction and large-scale weight loss. So the bottom line is, if you lift weights, you can increase your muscle mass or maintain your muscle mass and increase it and not affect your metabolism. So when you lose that weight, you're not going to affect your metabolism. Strength training, a key to fat loss and a key to longevity. Obviously, I wrote a book about it, Get Stronger, Live Longer, The Expert's Guide to Strength Training for Longevity. You can find it on our website, pick it up. It's a key for us to be able to enjoy the rest of our lives because we have the muscle. We have the muscle on our body, metabolism well. It helps us with balance. It helps us with fall prevention. Helps us to do things we want to do. But anyway, that was a little quick little side note there. So again, you could see what happened. She started with X amount of pounds of fat, and she ended up with more fat because all she did was diet. Okay, and in this particular case, a very low calorie diet. So I have another study for you today. This is our third study, and that'll be all the studies we do today. It was a study of 54 women in 4 different groups. One group did diet and had weight loss. A second group had exercise with weight loss. A third group exercised without weight loss. And the fourth group was just a weight steady group. It was our control group, okay? Excuse me. So the women who exercised and did not lose weight lost the same amount of fat as the diet group who lost weight. So they exercised, didn't lose weight, didn't lose scale weight, but they lost fat. And then we have the diet group that we already saw lost fat. What's the difference, okay? The exercise group now had added lean muscle mass that will make keeping the fat off easier for the long term with being more fit at the end of the study. So the study concluded that exercise without weight loss is associated with substantial reduction in total and abdominal obesity. So the scale doesn't necessarily have to go down for you to lose fat. Again, that's the beauty of fat loss when you're doing strength training. We're in the middle of an example of that right now. We're doing a D2S or a drop 2 gene size challenge, and they're not allowed to go on a scale because what's going to happen is if they go on a scale, and typically when someone goes on a scale and they're trying to lose weight, they look down at that thing, and no matter what the scale says, it says fat. They read F-A-T, fat, and they're not happy. The scale is very powerful, okay, and you want to stay off the scale. But, so we're not allowed to go on the scale for these 8 weeks. But what's happening is even after 4 weeks, they're able to put their jeans on, which they could not button at all, and they're able to button them. Still a little bit tight after 4 weeks, but after 8 weeks, they're going to be able to put those jeans on, slide it up, and wear them comfortably. And they're not going to have any idea how much weight they lost. But we're not going to tell them. I didn't put them on a scale to start with, and we're not going to put on a scale at the end. But what the key is that we've done strength training, and although the scale may not move, they're going to lose fat. I've had people over the years drop 4 or 5 pounds, and they drop 2 or 3 sizes. Does it matter? Okay. Does it matter what the scale says if your clothes are fitting better? It really should not matter. So I wanted to show you why it's so important to do strength training. And it shows that available. I wish I had been able to do this screen share for you so you could see a little bit better, be able to understand it better, probably if you could see it rather than me just talking about it. But 180 pounds started with X amount of fat and X amount of muscle, and after just 2 times of dieting alone, okay, despite the fact that she lost 19 pounds each time, at the end of the study, they had gained back all the weight, back up to 180 pounds, and had gained a total of 12 pounds of fat more. Started with this much fat, ended with more fat. Started with this much muscle, and they had 12 pounds less of muscle. Slowing down the metabolism. It's one of the few things that you can do to affect your metabolism, because most of your metabolism, your resting metabolism, is your organs. It's your heart, your lungs, your liver, kidneys, all that stuff working to burn, okay? And as we get older, those things slow down, but your metabolism doesn't need to slow down that much if you're doing strength training, because it's that strength training that's going to help you maintain your metabolism over the long haul. So that's what I have for you today. If you have any questions, certainly leave it in the comments. Give me a call, stop by, message me, whatever it might be. It's a concept that I want you to understand why yo-yo dieting is so harmful to your metabolism and why you don't want to lose weight or try to lose weight and not do strength training. It's that important. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to watch today. I hope you guys have a great evening. And as always, next Tuesday, we're going to give you more insight on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. Have a great evening.